So I got a couple hours to kill before work, and I'm gonna use that time wisely and bitch about the world because I'm well in my right to do so. Now I've been out for a little bit because life, my girlfriend recently caught COVID, and we've been dealing with that. I've been just trying to be there for her and stuff. But she's doing all right. She hasn't been hospitalized. I'm sorry, I can't speak. It's not. It's going okay. Um, it's going better than what it can. But it's. I want to get into the news because there's been a lot that's happened since the last time I made a video. Um, okay, so first story here, obviously as we see, GOP lawmaker vetoes up or down vote on $1,200 stimulus check proposal. Okay, so I haven't read this yet, so we're gonna get into it. Senator Ron Johnson objected to a vote on the standalone stimulus check bill introduced last week by unexpected duo of Josh Hawley and Senator Bernie Sanders. Listen, I hate Josh Hawley, but I think it's pretty base that he's working with Bernie. Hawley tried to put the proposal up for an up and down vote on a second stimulus round of $1,200 stimulus checks on Friday as Democratic and Republican leaders try to finalize a larger stimulus deal that includes smaller direct payments, 607. Yeah, okay. The 600, come on, we'll highlight it. Yeah, the 600, $700 right here. Um, it's not enough. I mean, people have been going without for how long now? You know, I mean, you had the $600 plus up for a few months. That ended for unemployment, and so people have been going without. There's a man. I had my in my last video. I had all the stories pulled up. There's an eviction crisis looming at the end of the month. Looks like nothing's gonna get done, and you have Pelosi and Schumer bragging, and the mainstream media, you have them bragging about, like, oh, we got this deal done, and it's like what Bernie says, it's not a fucking compromise, it's a collapse, like, oh, you gotta compromise to take deals, and that's exactly what Pelosi Schumer are not fucking doing. They're just, they're the Dems like to fucking parade Pelosi around as this great deal maker, but the problem is that's just BS because she starts off on the side of the Republicans. I mean, like, she didn't start off with the negotiation with, like, oh, I want this 3.4 trillion stimulus bill. Before she was doing that, but that's just because, as we know, the fucking block any actual meaningful stimulus. That would have been way better than what we're getting right now, by the way. Like, way better. Retroactive payments for unemployment, $1,200 stimulus, not fucking $600, $700. But just because she wanted Biden to win, didn't want Trump to take the credit, which, I mean, like, that's just fucking dirty politics. Oh, jeez, that's so dirty. No, not that dirty for, like, trying to give a shit about them. I mean, it's dirty for, the American people, her constituents. But, yeah. So, we have an eviction crisis looming. People can't afford to live. Most people's lost their jobs. A lot of people don't have health care. And no, by the way, that argument that Joe Biden and all the other fucking establishment corporatist Dems used against Medicare for all is like, oh, people don't want to people love their health care. They love their plans that they have through their jobs. Okay. That was the argument against Medicare for all. That was the main argument. Okay. How about the people who lost their jobs over the pandemic? I mean, it's not too smart having healthcare tied to your job now, is it? I mean, that just right there. Like, this pandemic proved their argument against Medicare for all is complete bullshit. Like, and oh man, it's looking bad. And I mean, and you have both sides just like not giving a shit about like the American, like I just don't understand like how there's this much of a disconnect between the American people and the politicians. Oh, jeez. I mean, Nancy Pelosi she came out with a commercial a few months ago where she was like fucking eating ice cream. Like, yeah, let's eat ice cream while we're fucking getting kicked out of our apartments and losing our jobs. Oh, I mean, at what point, how far can the American people be pushed? I mean, you know, the United States is doing the worst of both worlds here. I mean, okay, so usually you'd have like what Japan did, like limited shutdowns, mandatory masks, and then you have like what everyone else, like not everyone else, but like Europe, Canada, shutdowns, and they have like a fucking pretty much like a UBI every month, like I think at least 1,200 to like $2,000. Okay, but no, not here in America. You get one-time stimulus and fucking a little bit of unemployment insurance that lasted like 2 months, 2-3 months. That's good enough for you fuckers to live. That's how they think, But the Americans are on average $5,400 in debt after this pandemic. Let's see. Fuck it. We're not doing it right now. You gotta look it up. I gotta go to work soon. So, fact check me. I know I'm right. Anyway, I'm not right. I know the facts I'm spouting are correct. But, so you have like this ass over here. We're gonna get on to this ass. Okay. So, to get into the gist of it, because I already read all this before I started. Okay, so this fucking GOP lawmaker right here, okay? Mr. fucking Ron Johnson. The reason why he wants to veto the fucking vote up or down is because, like, he wants best of both worlds. He wants, so there isn't no vote, so he doesn't have to look bad voting against a $1,200 fucking stimulus bill, and he doesn't want to pass it. So he's like, well, we don't want to vote on it. I'm gonna fucking veto the up or down vote. It's like, have a fucking backbone, dude. Don't come at me with like this bullshit fucking nuance, because that's what it is. It's not new. It's just bullshit. It's fucking word salad you're gonna be throwing at me. Don't do it. And like you have like you just have the disconnect between Pelosi and Schumer, and you have Pelosi like, I'm negotiating this deal, and it's like, well, you get fucking scrapped. And it actually might not be a deal. We're actually gonna be we're gonna get to that right here. COVID-19 stimulus talks hit an unexpected setback when a GOP. So this is the same asshole, I guess. Oh, wait, is this the same? No, it's not. Okay, it's Pat Toomey. Okay, so. And we're going to get another one. Stimulus talks stall over a purely political GOP move as midnight. Okay. Oh, my God. I hope the shutdown... listen. At this point, it's getting so bad, and the politicians have such a disregard for the American people, Democrat and Republican alike, at this point, that, like... okay, you had the George Floyd protests and stuff, and, like, I understand, like, I support Black Lives Matter. I support the whole movement, But it really upsets me that, like Americans care about, like, the visuals. Like, like, seeing George Floyd, die with a knee on his neck, that is a powerful image. And we need to do something about police brutality, and we need to do something about systemic racism. Absolutely. But what does that have to take for the American people to actually like stand up against the injustices their own politicians are committing against them? They're letting the corporations run out the back door with all the fucking money, and yet they want to talk about deficit spending. And Republicans only give a shit about deficit when there's a Democratic president or Democratic leadership. Okay, but as soon as there's like a Republican leadership or with the president or whatever, like they don't talk about deficit spending. They increase the fucking military spending bill. Don't buy like what 200, $300 billion. We spent over $700 billion on our military annually. That's yeah. They want to be deficit hawks when it comes to fucking bailing out the American people. It's like, listen, dummies, listen, stupids. Okay, you can't have a functioning economy. Okay, you can't have commerce if people don't have money. People can't go out and consume. This is a capitalistic society. It's a consumer-based society. Consumers can't consume if they don't have money. Like, I love this. Like, in almost a way, you kind of can't. It's hard to be a libertarian and a capitalist at the same time, like a hardcore, like no government fucking help, libertarian, and being a hardcore capitalist, because like with capitalism you purely need you need a population that can actually like have commerce, spend money in the economy. But that's too much nuance and too much sneaking for them, I guess, right? Oh boy. But I mean, at this point, it's like, how bad can it get? How bad can it get? And I mean, I'm surprised every day. I wake up and look at the fucking news and it's fucking shaking my head. Oh, I mean, I'm just a pizza guy, I cook pizzas and stuff. That's what I do for a living. I've done it for 8 years. I'm 23, almost 24. Who am I? I'm like I said, I'm that, but I can see this bullshit. So I find it harder to believe that like the average person. I'm the average person. I find it hard to believe that the average person doesn't understand how badly they're getting screwed by both sides. I mean, you had the whole Trump drama for 4 years, and like, I mean, that's something we're gonna have to deal with for like another day, because there is fervent hatred of the Democratic Party, which I understand. But there's a fervent hatred for facts and logic, and that was really brought to light under the Trump administration. Okay, you have COVID deniers, you have anti-maskers, anti-vaxxers, and they've always been there, but I mean, it's gotten worse under Trump. But the problem is that you have Joe Biden, Pelosi, and all the other establishment Dems. They want to go back to normalcy. Back under like what it was like Obama, because Obama's the new Bill Clinton. Okay, so we want to go back to normalcy. But the problem is you can't go back to normalcy, especially even if without COVID. You can't go back to normalcy after fucking Trump. I mean, and now and post-COVID, you want to go back to normalcy post-COVID? Joe Biden, his entire campaign messages, while he was on the campaign trail, didn't talk jack shit about helping stimulate the economy with helping American people out. He was like, oh, we just gotta wear your mask, we're gonna defeat this thing. It's like, okay, asshole, but how about the after effects? I mean, the damage has already been done. Millions of people, are unemployed. Hundreds of thousands of people are filing for unemployment every week. At the same fucking time, the Dow is hitting an all-time high. There's a fucking disconnect. And I know I sound like a broken record, but I mean, there is, and that's a problem. That there is a systemic problem with with the elite being disconnected from the bottom half of America. It's a systemic problem, and there's no signs of them like progressing out of that idea. I mean, it's just getting worse. Like they're so like the hubris, okay? Like the sheer hubris of Biden snubbing the progressives this time around. I mean, man, and I love that. The fucking Joe Biden had a quote. Oh, the American people don't. They don't want a handout. They want the government to understand them. It's like, well, the government caused our fucking problem, and the handout. Okay, so I love how politicians fucking frame this. Oh, they want a handout from the government, but so every time when the government gives us back our own tax dollars, it's a handout. But every time they come after us for more fucking taxes, it's what it is. It's just going for taxes. Pay your fucking dues, or you're going to fucking jail. And I'm not like, I'm for paying taxes. I mean, I'm a socialist, but I mean, I don't want my tax money to going out, bailing out fucking, corporations and fucking defense contractors. And I want to get back to that, So there's no money. There's never no money for the people. But like, they just passed a $700 billion fucking defense bill. Who the fuck are we in a war with that we need that big of a fucking defense bill? Like, really? Really? China only spends what, like 100, 200 billion? Okay? And like, who are we in war with right now that we could spend just as much as China, would be fine. And we'd have about $500 billion to do annually to like help the people. But no. I guess cuz like, goes back to politicians being corrupt and bought out. You have these defense contractors like Raytheon fucking, buying out these politicians. Oh, we have to have more and more money, and it's like clockwork. I mean, fuck, man. They've been warning about the military-industrial complex since like the fucking 50s, man, and here it is. I mean, like it's more powerful as it's ever been. When you put the military before your own people, like that's when you've crossed a certain threshold. Like a country has crossed a certain threshold. And I mean, and like who's fighting for us out there? AOC and the squad. I mean, AOC and the squad. Like, just I haven't heard AOC criticize Pelosi. Other than like just like now, like she's been in office, this is her second term, and she's just now criticizing Pelosi. She's like, they want to like withhold, the fucking vote, so Pelosi could put the fucking Medicare for all as for like a vote and stuff. And AOC's like, oh no, we can't do that, and oh, we want to get rid of the Democratic leadership. We don't have anyone there, but you've had all this time the vet and like. Put people. It's like you haven't been making any of the political moves. The only political moves you've been fucking making is cozying up to the same fucking establishment Dems who you told us you were gonna fight against. The entire time you have not been fighting against them, and you've been cozying up to them. I mean, like what did we elect you for, AOC? Huh? I mean. This is heartbreaking. This is I fervently defended her all these years. I mean, and they're not doing anything. They're not fighting. It's like, come on, man. It's so bad. It's so bad. I mean, I live in such an impoverished area. I'm starting to see the effects hit right now, and it's bad, man. It's so bad, and I'm worried for my job. I work in the restaurant industry. I mean, like how the hours are getting shorter and shorter. Days are getting shorter. I mean, we'll have a few days. We'll have a rush. No one really has the money to go out. And I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, like, no one in my area, well, like, they're all anti-maskers anyway, like, you have to, so there is a mandate here in New York, but I mean, like, so it's not because they're not coming out because they're not scared of COVID, they're not coming out because they don't have any fucking money to spend. Like, that how far do we have to go before, like, people actually stand up and realize how badly they're getting screwed? Man. I mean, like, it's not like this, man. Like, guys, everyone living in the United States, like, this is not how things have to be. I mean, Canada's like, okay, You can always use Canada. Canada's not like Canada has its flaws. Every country has its flaws. I understand, but like at least they're actually like putting they had a fucking they had something in place to help their fucking their citizens. They had like their version of like a UBI for the time being, and they already had the universal health care. But we can't have nice things here. And I'm one of these. I'm one of you guys, man. I'm one of the I work a fucking part-time job, make minimum wage. That's what I do, and that's all I got. That's all I can get around here. There's no other jobs around here. So if my job goes under, I'm fucked. What am I doing? Fucking work at the gas. I work at the gas station over here too. Minimum wage over there is fucking sucked. And want something? I'm not gonna. If my job goes, I'm not gonna be the only asshole fucking applying over there. I mean, I left that job for a reason because it was terrible. But like, what? I'm gonna work for fucking scraps again, like I always have been, like everyone always has been. I mean, like we Americans were already hurting before the pandemic. People were making, on average, the average American was making like $30,000. Average American households like $40,000, $50,000. I mean, it's not good, man. And it's like the people. I'm just like waiting, man. Like, listen, I was at the BLM protest, one of them here in Buffalo. And that was great. It was beautiful. It's beautiful. Like, people stood up and they fought against something. They stood up for something. But like, when are they gonna do that for their fellow man? Like, when are they gonna do that to help themselves? When are we actually gonna have a time where, we all stand in solidarity and we tell these elites no more. No more draining us dry. No more. Like, yet there has to be, at this point, like, the system is so rotted. It's so rotted right now. It's hard to see, like, it's hard to envision a way where we fix the system. Because it's so rotted to its core right now. It's like, it doesn't matter who we get in there, AOC, Bernie. It's like the system's so rotted to its core. And they have such a fucking grip, iron fucking grip on the American people and with the media. I mean, it's almost hopeless sometimes, man. I hate to be a doomer, but I mean, it's hard not to be given the fucking state of affairs lately, But I will try to keep up on my videos and stuff, but gotta be going to work here soon. So take care, guys. Do your best to survive, and it's gonna get hard out there. Stay safe.